everyone.
Holy moly.
Welcome back to Game Tasting. I'm your host, still Jay.
Still Jay. And I'm, I guess, still Dorian.
Still Dorian.
Have we been doing it long enough where I can say still?
Yeah,
Cool.
I think so. So the reason for me yelling
Yeah.
is we are doing a game that had a lot of yelling growing up.
Yes. Yeah.
Every episode was filled with about 50% yelling.
50% yelling or 50% just nothing.
And we are talking about Dragon Ball. Specifically for this episode, we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball. What is it? Sparking
Dragon Ball
Zero.
Z Sparking Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero.
I guess actually it's just Dragon
It's
Ball.
just Dragon Ball,
Sparking
no
Zero.
Z.
That's right. Z is very
So
specific. You have to be very specific.
Correct. I was right the first time.
Yes, you were.
So, welcome. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. Because this is a game that is near and dear to my heart because of the franchise and also because of the type of game it is.
Yeah, yeah. And it's tied to the show. Honestly, like there's the show, there's multitudes of games around the show that we grew up playing probably.
Yep. And so you know what? Before we start the game itself,
Yeah.
let's tell the people a little bit about Dragon Ball.
All right. Yeah, so it's an anime. One of the older, like, when did it first start?
Dude, I don't know.
I don't even know when it
can look
first
it up.
started. I want to say 90s. I want to say the 90s.
I can look it up. Keep talking.
Yeah. And so it had different iterations that sort of like would happen. So it starts with just Dragon Ball, right? The very first one was just Dragon Ball, and it's about little kid Goku with his little monkey tail.
I got back the dates.
Okay.
It started on February 26, 1986.
80s, man.
The 80s.
Okay, yeah. So like before I was even born, it was going.
Yeah, this is. I'm pretty sure. I don't want to butcher it. It's by Akira. Yeah, Akira Toriyama. Toriyama Sensei. Past, he made a lasting thing.
Yeah, he had a very distinct art style.
Yes, this Dragon Quest.
I was about to say Dragon Quest, but then there's been other things
There's a
too
lot.
that have that Toriyama style. Like you see it and you're like, is that Dragon Ball? Oh no, it's something else.
Yeah.
There's actually a game I think that came out somewhat recently that was like a classic JRPG kind of looking thing.
Yes.
I haven't played it. It's like Desert World or something.
Yeah. And it's the same one that it's pretty much derived from him.
Yeah, it's same art style. Yeah. So started out with Dragon Ball, and that had like little kid Goku, and like he would go on adventures, and at a certain point that series ended, and then like time skip, and that's when Dragon Ball Z started.
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z. But that's like Goku's an adult. He married Chi-Chi, has his little kid Gohan.
The strongest deadbeat dad in the world.
Strongest deadbeat dad. Yeah, and then that's when you had the reluctant actual father figure of Piccolo come in and like
Shout out.
Yeah, he was a villain in Dragon Ball, but now in Dragon Ball Z,
He's raising his kid.
That's sort of he's raising Goku's kid, and he's also I guess the first one that started the trend of like villains just end up becoming friends with the cast.
And Piccolo is not a stepdad. He's the father that stepped up.
Yes. Yes. And then like that's where you got like the most iconic stuff, I think, like Frieza. Like Frieza, when you think of Dragon Ball Z and like all the villains, like they had some good villains, but he's the one that everyone always thinks of.
So
like,
Dragon
right?
Ball Z, I'm pretty sure covered all three, the main ones. So it covered Frieza, Cell, and Buu.
Yep.
All like defining things of our childhood.
Yeah.
If you're in your 30s, right? If you're in your 30s.
Oh, God.
Because I remember I wasn't even in America yet. And I was already watching Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
So like in Asia, he was huge. In the Philippines, in Mexico, he's considered Jesus. He's Mexican Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, there's some allegory stuff there. Yeah.
Yeah, because like when a new episode of Dragon Ball comes out, cartel killing stop for that day.
Yeah, that's
Look
true.
it up, actually.
Yeah, actually, that happened.
That's just how it is. It's like a worldwide thing. Mm-hmm. And if you are someone who hasn't had the chance of knowing about it, That's okay. I mean, some people didn't have like access to anime, or like they didn't have like Toonami.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so that's all right. And I hope this kind of becomes like an easy primer, because the DBZ, the Dragon Ball world is huge. So like Doran was saying, there's Dragon Ball, there's Z, there's GT,
Which like technically isn't part of the canon. Yeah. Then there's Super.
And no, so before Super, there's Kai.
That's right.
And then Super. And then Daima.
Which that's the most recent. Is actually currently.
Daima is current.
Now, is Super also still going and Daima is just kind of like parallel going? Okay. Because I think Daima is another like GT situation, right? Where it's kind of just like a what if scenario kind of thing.
Yeah. And this world is huge.
Yeah.
So trying to cover it is just, we don't have enough days in the year.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're gonna.
Well, I mean, like you said, it started in the 80s and it's still going. So like, when did The Simpsons start? Like, it's giving The Simpsons a run for its money, I feel. So
let's see.
Because like the actual Simpsons series, I guess, because I think The Simpsons technically started as like a little
December 17, 1989.
Simpsons. So
Dragon Ball's older.
Before The Simpsons. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about, folks. This has been going on for more than the length of our lives. So
I was not even a seed in my dad's nuts. That's crazy. So, yes. So we're talking about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Yes. Which actually, playing one of these games, including Sparking Zero, is actually kind of a fun way to have an abridged look at the entire Dragon Ball series, because that's what all of these games do. It feels like all of them sort of take you through the entire series, like across all the sagas in sort of like a short form, as far as the story modes go, right? Yeah. So like that's like a cool lead into the game. So
let's get into the game.
Yeah.
Let me tell you guys a little bit about it. It is, I would describe it as an arena fighter.
Yes.
With like the biggest stage of any fucking thing. It's like, think of a 3D world that you're able to move. And it's that type of game that really there's nothing in comparison for the current modern day. There isn't.
Yeah, this one sort of started because like Naruto, like actually pretty much other animes have sort of tried to emulate it, right? Because like Naruto has done it. I think My Hero Academia has done it.
Oh yeah. MHA has it, Naruto Ninja Storm.
And I think Jujutsu Kaisen went out, but apparently it's horrible.
Oh, okay. Well, this one is amazing.
Yes.
So the last time we had a game like this, I know that this is called Sparking Zero, so there is no like it's acting like it's the first.
Yeah.
I want to tell y'all it is not. I would say that this is the successor for the third game, which is Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
I think it goes even beyond that, because like I was like before we started recording, I went online to look at like the whole chronology
on the Google.com,
on the Google.com, on the www.google.com/
on the Google.com,
on the Google.com, okay. And so it started out. The very first one was called Dragon Ball Budokai.
Yeah,
it's just Budokai, and that one came out in 2002, I believe.
2002
on the PS2. Then there was Budokai 2. Then Budokai 3, then something called Burst Limit, and this is where they just started changing the names. They're technically part of the same series, like made by the same developers and stuff, but like totally different name, Burst Limit. Then I think after that it went back to Budokai, but then they added on Tenkaichi. So it's Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi. And like honestly, that's the one. There's a ton, and there's some on PSP also that I didn't even realize existed until I was.
The last time that a game that is in this line and the lineage of Dragon Ball came out.
What was the last one?
Was Tenkaichi 3.
Tenkaichi 3.
17 years ago.
17. It's been that long.
17 years ago. So
man,
this game is able to pull on the nostalgia of the teenagers then. And that's why I said, when you're in your 30s, this is for you.
Where were you 17 years ago?
I got a chick pregnant, so at 16. So I was still fucking playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Yeah.
God.
Shout out to Rai. That's my son. Did not plan him in high school. Believe it or not. Did not plan him my second year of high school.
You did not know your burst limit.
Did not my But I was Budokai Tenkaichi. Yeah. So I want to acknowledge that there's a good bit of nostalgia that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is able to pull from.
Yes. Yeah.
Because to me, to you, to anyone in that age range, it's like you grew up with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you go home from school, you do your homework, you turn on.
This was a blockbuster game.
Yes.
Like this is when I went. I guess that's another testament how long ago. But yeah, this was like I went to Blockbuster on Friday, rented it for the weekend.
Back then, by the way, you could rent out games.
Yes. From a store.
You go in there,
you go
rent
physically
out.
to a store.
And it's a per day basis.
Yeah.
It was a crazy world.
Crazy.
But yeah, like this pulls into a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Because it's like we all grew up with it. And if you didn't, well, I'm sorry. Or you also must be younger.
Yeah.
So that being acknowledged, the game in itself, I feel by itself, without the nostalgia, kind of hard to separate, still stands on its own.
Yeah, it's definitely so. I've got complex feelings about it, and
they never released like a trailer or anything for this, right? It was just like
they were
they teased it.
Leading up to it. It felt like every week I was seeing some character reveal trailer for it, which, by the way, like there's a lot of characters,
over 180 fucking characters.
Yes, it's crazy.
Ranging from minor characters to your Goku in like his 57 forms.
Yeah.
Like there's a ton, and then the villains. So you even have access to 2 versions of Broly in this.
Yes.
And like I'm geeking out because I love Dragon Ball.
Right.
And it has a lot of options. It's like the Cheesecake Factory menu.
Like I'll admit, like I like Dragon Ball Z, but like I stopped after Z. I watched a bit of GT, so I knew about like Baby and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I never saw Kai or Super.
Yeah.
And so like I jumped into this game, and I know like basically I know all of it up to a certain point, and then I started like continuing in the story, and I'm like, what? There's like it's crazy some of the stuff that happens, and
you're like, what the?
Yeah, there's like superheroes involved also now.
Yeah.
Like it gets kind of crazy.
There's clones.
There's
Zamasu.
That's right. Yeah. Well, so like I learned about that story.
About the Goku Black story.
I learned about that story because of the game.
I
so
see.
like that's what I'm saying is like it's kind of a good way of like if you're for some reason just now wanting to jump into being a hardcore Dragon Ball Z fan, is sort of like a good way to get caught up.
Like we said,
on the
an
story.
absolute banger of a primer.
Yeah. And so like let's kind of talk about like the story of it, right? Obviously, it's the story of all the Dragon Ball sagas, and it tells
what is a Dragon Ball?
What is a Dragon Ball? A Dragon Ball it's literally a ball.
Oh,
and basically there's like different planets and realms all have their own Dragon Ball, like sets of Dragon Balls.
Yes.
And basically, when you collect all 7, it summons a dragon. Again, the dragon's always different.
His name is always Shenron.
It's always Shenron. Oh, I thought the one on Namek had a different name.
I don't know. I thought it was always Shenron.
I've only ever seen Shenron mainly, but I thought I don't want to get into the whole weeds there, but yeah, you collect the Dragon Balls, it summons a dragon, and you get to make a wish. Well, again, even then, depending on the dragon, sometimes you get a single wish, sometimes you might get 3 wishes. It kind of depends on which
monkey's paw sometimes.
Yes, yeah. So it's a careful what you wish for kind of thing.
And so the premise of the name is that like you get all of them, you make a wish. Mm-hmm. Hence the name. The show is called Dragon Ball.
Yeah, and because you can imagine like there's probably villains out there trying to get their hands on the Dragon Balls, So that kind of is the plot device. Although it's weird, sometimes the Dragon Balls do come back into play usually, but sometimes they're not really the center. Like the whole Buu saga,
they've stopped being the center as soon as they finish Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Because even the Buu saga in Z, it wasn't focused around. They needed the Dragon Balls at the end to like. I'm not going to spoil, but there's some stuff that needed fixing.
Yeah.
But it was sort of like it happens at the end. You know, it wasn't like the villain was trying to get the Dragon Balls and stuff like that.
It stopped becoming like the center point.
Yeah,
which is funny because like
it's the name of the show. And they're always there in the background and stuff. But yeah, it's funny how that's panned out. But yeah, so you go through the story, and the game does a couple interesting things, I think, with the story this time around. For starters, I don't know how far you got, but there are times where you'll get to a certain point in the story, and depending on what you do in the fight, you can find out like what if situations.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, for like
so
yeah, I know.
I think there's one pretty early on, like the Raditz fight.
Dude, that Raditz fight was fucking hard.
Dude, okay, that's a whole other thing. We'll get into that in a little bit. But like, I think in that fight, so in the show, I don't know, should I? Is it old enough where I can spoil? Spoiler alerts. I'm going to just say spoiler alerts. Yeah. Like if you don't want to hear Dragon Ball Z spoils, but this is literally like 20 years old, that kind of stuff. But in the show, when Goku's fighting this villain named Raditz, part of it involves him like taking like a mortal blow with teaming up with Piccolo. I think in the game, when you get to that point, you can technically like do such a good job in the fight where you just beat the shit out of Raditz, and that doesn't happen, and so you get to see like what happens if they didn't need to do that.
So that I don't know if you knew this.
What?
That kind of thing is only available if you're playing on the normal difficulty. If you play on an easier difficulty, you don't get to see those stuff.
Interesting. Okay. Yes. Okay. So yeah, that is interesting. And let me tell you,
it's
normal difficulty. This game is hard, actually.
And that's one thing that, so like I came into it because I used to play a lot of Budokai Tenkaichi. Mm-hmm. I love saying that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Say it again. Budokai
Tenkaichi.
And so I played it a fair bit. I used to play Ninja Storm. Mm-hmm. And so I'm aware of like how this game works. It took me a couple tries to get Raditz down.
Just Raditz.
And so, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of things you're not able to see if you play it on an easier difficulty. Mm-hmm. The developers really do want to push you to play it at the intended difficulty, so that way you feel rewarded.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I 100% agree with that, and that's why tutorials are so fucking important.
Well, yeah, okay. Was it this game that you told me that you actually played the tutorial, or was that another game where you're like, it turns out the tutorials can be pretty enlightening? Both. Okay.
So, I mean, I didn't need the tutorial just because I knew how the game functions and plays exactly as it did 17 years ago.
Well, so actually, I have a question for you, because it has two control schemes. It has like the new control scheme, and then it has what's called the classic control scheme.
I play on classic.
You play on classic. Okay, interesting.
And so I did that, but the tutorials are very, very important. And so you finish the main tutorial because the game forces you into it. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, okay, I'm ready to take on the game.
Yeah, it's story mode.
Don't. Finish the advanced tutorial first. I swear to God, you will have a miserable time trying to play this game if you've only done the basic tutorial.
Yes.
Play the fucking advanced one.
Yes.
And I'm not... typically it's like whatever. It's fucking tutorial.
You're a hardcore skip the tutorial kind of guy.
Yes, I am. This is not one of those.
No,
I need y'all.
I agree. This game, it's like honestly, a lot of the times, like I'm a person where like any game I play, if there's a tutorial, I play the tutorial because I do it just in case. And honestly, 90% of the time, I'm like, okay, I really didn't need to play the tutorial. I've played this type of game before. I'm fine. But this is the kind of game where it proves my theory. I'm like, I always do it just in case. And this is one of those cases where I'm like, holy shit, if I did not know a lot of these mechanics, I would have never figured out how to progress in the game. No, I just get my ass handed to me.
Absolutely do the advanced tutorial first. And then you might be able to beat Raditz in a couple of tries.
Yes. Now, that's just like, is that... the first fight? It's the first fight. If not the first, like the second one.
Yeah.
You expect the first maybe two to be like a cakewalk, but no. And then you get to you fight giant ape Vegeta.
Yeah.
Did you get to that far?
Oh, yeah.
That one is the one where I was just like, am I not good at this game? Do I need to just accept the fact that I'm ass at this game and I just like can't play it? Because I could not beat Giant Ape Vegeta. And I was even like going online and like you'll find articles of talking about being like, what is with the difficulty on Giant Ape Vegeta? This is the 3rd level. Why can't I beat this?
Yeah. It's important. Do the fucking tutorial.
Yes. Yeah.
Man, how do you want to split this? Because I loved...
There's so like I think let's finish talking about like the story mode because we can't really talk about the story itself because like that's just Dragon Ball Z and like you said there's so much story in Dragon Ball Z. The other thing I kind of want to talk about as far as what the story mode does that's kind of cool is so it does like those what if scenarios, right? But then also as you like you pretty much always start off playing as Goku, like the Goku storyline, but as you go through you unlock other characters and you get to see the story from like their point of view.
Yeah.
Including villains, which that's kind of cool.
I mean, I don't think Frieza did anything wrong. I'm just joking. He was fucking evil. That dude was a psycho.
He killed a lot of people like for no reason.
He unalived a lot of people.
Yes, yeah, he was. I'd say evil. I would say he's
definitely Black Air Force energy.
Yes.
So as far as the story, I don't think I really have much I can add towards.
Yeah,
that.
like we'd have to like just go into and become a Dragon Ball.
So let's
podcast.
just talk about gameplay.
Yes, and that's where the game like
Jesus.
You're either going to love the game or hate it. I think
what captures people with this game is you go online, or you're over at a friend's and they start playing it. Mm-hmm. It is fast paced.
Yes,
and you see them. They're flying over, teleporting, they're deflecting, they're blocking, they're attacking, and all of it at a pace that is significantly faster than any of its predecessors and faster than any of its even adjacent comparisons. Mm-hmm. Like much faster than Naruto, much faster than MHA, and I'm sure, I guess, much better than Jujutsu Kaisen. Sparking Zero captures the feelings and kind of the emotion that you felt as a kid watching these guys fight it out on TV. Like, I would say that the speed is like Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan fast. And that's an actual fucking level of Saiyan, by the way.
Yes. Yes. Which that's something I had to learn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
Like, they just keep unlocking new forms and stuff.
Because it's like Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3, 4.
Like, I couldn't, like, because I had heard about Super Saiyan God. Yeah. And then I'm like, there's something above Super Saiyan God.
It's Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan.
It's weird because this is where it gets hard for me to talk about because it's like it has a lot of mechanics.
Oh, it does.
But at the same time, it's not meant to be
no
like a competitive fighting game.
That's the thing. And I think that the game is not meant to be competitive. So by design, the game has been worked very intuitively. So it's very easy to pick up, very hard to master.
Yes.
And so that's why it's like you're kind of big dick and you're comfortable doing it after basic tutorial. And then you get your shit handed to you and you're like, okay, I'm not, It's because it's easy to pick up. It gives you that like, oh, I got this. And as soon as you play through it a good bit, it just clicks. It's like something in your brain just clicks and you're like, I get it. Mm-hmm. And it's like now you're doing the stuff that you're seeing on YouTube and it feels great. Yeah. It's very rewarding.
Yeah. It's hard for me to talk because like I'm going to say like there are things that I love about this game and then there's things that I really just don't like. And I think being a fighting game player is part of the reason why there are certain things that like just don't jive with me.
Yeah. You know what? Sorry. So as far as the gameplay goes, in Tekken, characters have different movesets.
Right.
You press a button. It's essentially the same, but their inputs are different. Sparking Zero, every character has the same exact buttons to press.
Yes.
So there is no difference outside of like their special moves.
Yeah.
And so that's what I meant by it's easy to pick up.
Right, exactly. Where it gets hard to master, though, is specifically, and this is also where I think I have the most problems with the game, is specifically when you're on defense.
Oh, dude, I fucking hated defense.
It's because they actually, the problem that I have with the game is like, I think there's actually too many options for the person who's defending. Because in any other fighting game, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Street Fighter, if you land a hit, then like you get the hit. You get to go into a combo. You get to do your big flashy stuff. You do all this damage, and it looks great. In this game, what always was driving me up the wall, was grinding my gears, is that technically it doesn't matter what's happening. You can always break out of a combo no matter what at any time. Now, it can be very tricky, but technically, like even if they're hitting you from behind, which is supposed to be like the most advantageous way to hit, even then you can technically break out of it. Yeah, which like you have to like, it requires skill. It does require skill because you have to like hit a button at like the exact right timing.
Hit R1 exactly. At the same time.
Yeah. And then you can break out of it. And it takes a lot of skill, but technically it's there. And like when you go online to go against other people, like you have so many people who are just like pouring hours into this game. And so it's like, it became, a lot of my online matches were just like, I'd land 2 hits, he'd break. He would land 2 hits, I break. It just kind of did like back and forth. No one was really getting to do anything that flashy. But when someone does get to do something flashy, it looks so good. You feel good.
The 2 hits, teleport, 2 hits, teleport. It makes sense, right? Because in the show,
it does make sense. But like from a gameplay perspective, you want to be able to like do the big flashy Timo. But you want to be able to do the big flashy like, knock them flying and then follow up with some big Kamehameha or whatever. Yeah. And it's just like so hard to actually do that because you have so many options to get out of a situation.
And I think that's why this game doesn't have a ranked mode, right?
It does.
Oh, it does?
It does have a ranked mode.
Okay. Because I was going to be like, man, I can't even imagine the amount of ranked games where it's just a fucking mirror match.
Yes. Well, so let's get into that. This is actually something that I really like about the game is the character selection for a match. Did you said
I didn't play online.
You mainly were doing story.
Yeah,
right?
I didn't play online at all.
Online is pretty cool. It's specifically ranked because it uses a mode called DP mode. They don't know that over there. But I'm guessing it stands for Dragon Points, people. But so the way it works is because like in Dragon Ball, in the world of Dragon Ball, right, you have all these characters and they're all on different like power levels, right?
Not once do you think they DP'd Bulma?
Oh. Bulma? Bulma. I don't know. But so like you have all these different characters, right? And like obviously like on top you have Goku, right? He's the main pro tag. He's always getting stronger, and he's like fighting like gods basically, right?
God.
And then on the other end of the spectrum, right, you got like Yamcha.
Yo. But one of my favorite things was the Yamcha Cup.
The Yamcha Cup?
Yeah, where it's like you just play a bunch of the low tier characters.
Oh, yes, that's right.
That was sick, dude.
Yeah.
The Yamcha Cup.
So what's cool though is like when you go into this mode, basically you have 15 points allotted to you to make a team. And so like we said, this roster is huge, right? And
I see.
It's spanning across all different power levels of characters. You have like Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku. Then you also have like the Cybermen, which are basically just like these little grunts.
I love Cybermen.
Right, but they're fodder, right? They're basically like little like green dudes that are just like the villains kind of send them out to go. Or you have like the Cell Juniors.
You're not saying that about the Ginyu Force too, right?
The Ginyu Force?
Yeah, no, right?
No, well they're a higher power level than the Cybermen. Yeah, but like even then, like Raccoon from the Ginyu Force. he's not on the same level as
Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan
Super
Goku.
Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, right? Or like Hit, like these people are on a whole other level, right? So what it does is every character has like a certain number of dragon points.
I see how much they cost.
Right. And so like if you pick Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, he's going to cost like 11 or 12 points. So you can like pick him and like one other weaker character maybe. Or
you can pick 8 Cybermen.
Honestly, yes. I think you can have a max of 5 characters, but you could do like 5 like somewhat mid to lower tier characters. And it kind of like that's how it balances out.
That's good balancing.
I really like that. And like what's cool is like so like you can't like let's say you go just like regular teen Trunks, right? You can't pick like 2 regular teen Trunks, right? Because it's like why are there 2 Trunks? But what you can do is you can do multiple metal coolers because that was how it worked in the movie,
That's
right?
right.
Like he just like would make machine copies of himself. So you can have a team of an entire
that's so
metal coolers.
sick.
Yeah. Also, what you can do is so like one of the mechanics in the game is when you're actually in a fight, certain characters you can power up, right?
Yeah.
You can go Super Saiyan, for example.
And you know, like, and you could also
Go Fusion. Yeah. And that's a way that you can kind of game the system a little bit because, like, for example, Cooler is in the game, like regular Cooler.
Yeah.
But then there's also his like evolved form.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is a point like you can start off just straight into evolved Cooler, but he does cost a point more. But what you can do is take regular Cooler in and then mid battle spend like energy to become evolved Cooler. So it's like you can kind of like fudge the numbers a little bit by taking like versions that are lower in power level to save on points, and then in the battle make them more powerful.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
It's pretty cool. I really like that system.
I didn't get to try that because I didn't play any of that.
I would recommend if you're into the kind of getting into the competitive side of it. It can be interesting to try and figure out like what's a cool team. Like when I went on, I'm trying to remember what my my point woman was always Android 18 just because I love Android 18.
Oh yeah,
I love
does.
Android 18. And so I would go Android 18, regular Cooler, and then go into evolved Cooler as soon as I could in fight, and then I would take future Trunks, who can go into Super Saiyan Trunks. Yeah.
I would build Android, so I would do 18.
Okay.
Bulma, Chi-Chi, Videl.
I don't think, you know what's weird? Bulma and Chi-Chi are not characters.
And you know what?
Okay.
We're not even
He doesn't care.
We're not even fighting.
Oh boy. He's still on the DP thing.
But that's really cool. I didn't get to play that. I did do custom battles because I thought that was fucking sick.
Go. Do you want to talk about custom
I
battles?
love custom battles because like as a kid,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I've always imagined what would happen if these two fight.
Yeah.
This game gave it to me.
Yeah, and so y'all know, it's not just like, oh, it lets you pick the characters. You get to actually like...
There's like monologue.
Yes, you get to design like the story behind it and stuff. It's so cool how they did that. It's so great. I didn't mess around too much with that.
Oh, dude, I love that.
Did you make any cool ones?
I did. So like I did Perfect Frieza versus Gotenks.
Okay, all right.
And dude, that shit was like I always dreamed of that as a kid.
Specifically,
Yeah,
Frieza versus
I love
Gotenks.
Gotenks.
What was the premise? What was the story? Why was Frieza...
The story is because Frieza's about to destroy the world. He's just
and it all comes down to
it all comes down to
like
this fight.
Goku's dead.
Yeah,
Like,
Goku's dead.
Oh my god,
it's just Gotenks, and it's like him. Like it's on him. Oh, I got goosebumps right here. You can see.
Oh my god, goose pimples.
Yeah, I actually like as a kid. This is some shit that like I've always was like.
Yeah.
Dude, I bet that would be so sick.
Yeah.
And like adult me now in my 30s, I got it.
You got to make it happen, man.
It happened.
that's
And so
really
like
cool.
if you're a Dragon Ball fan, if you always like had these like I guess dream fantasy matchups, bro, you could put fucking Frieza versus Cell.
I think I went into the mode and it does like the tutorial where it teaches you how,
Yeah.
and I think that's what I set up is Frieza
Dude,
versus Cell.
Like that kind of stuff, that's what dreams are made of.
Yeah. Oh no, sorry. It was Kid Buu
Kid Buu,
versus
yeah.
Frieza. That's what it was.
Yeah, like that's the kind of stuff and it's
Yeah.
like, dang.
I would want to make one where I put androids 18, 17, and 16 against
I thought it was Android 18.
Perfect Cell, and they get to like have revenge. Kind of, that would be cool. I think that
not just Android 18. Just
Android 18, man.
Krillin got it though.
Dude, Krillin was the real winner of that show.
He died like 3 times.
He did, but he still came out. Dude, he's the one with like he's like devoted to his wife. He has a kid.
Yeah.
Like he's just.
How did that even work?
Yeah. Well, I think they wished it.
They wished it.
When at
that
the end of the
became
Cell,
a human.
Yeah, at the end of the Cell saga, he wished for Android 18. One to be like brought back, and then but also to be a human.
Yeah.
Man, he knew what was up, man.
He knew what's up.
And also, he's considered the strongest human, right?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Destructo Disc.
Can just cut anything in half.
Right. Oh, man. I love Dragon Ball.
It's so good.
And so, going back to it, to this, like, gameplay, it has very, very stunning visuals. As far as...
Yes.
So, you go into a stage. The stage is already very, very well designed. And then stage destruction takes place. And then if you're in like Earth and you destroy and there's people around, they'll start running.
Yeah.
They run around. And then it's like there's actual interaction with the destruction. Mm-hmm. That's fucking
really cool. Yeah. One other thing is like that was interesting is that a lot of the characters got it's so cool because there are so many characters, but they still put in a lot of work on making them feel unique. Like one cool thing is that if you're playing as any of the because most of the characters when you need like energy you hold
you charge
you have to like charge up. The androids don't do that. They just like gain energy over time because they're androids. And I'm like, that's such a nice little touch. Like they work entirely different because they're not human. They just like get to charge energy as they're fighting, and then
that's so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then like Yajirobe, there are characters from the show that like they can't fly or anything, right? But they're in the game, and like Yajirobe and Hercule.
How do they fly?
They don't. They just they jump really high and then they kind of just like float down, but they can't actually fly.
Wait, does that mean they can do air battle?
No, it's. But the thing is, here's the thing. A lot of people were like, yo, Yajirobe is actually like low-key busted because he can use a Senzu bean and just like he has like an ability where if he lands it, it kind of just stuns the other person and he gets to just like refill his life with a Senzu bean. And so he's so hard to kill. Even though he can't fly, he just like jumps really high and does like samurai stuff.
He's like a little Murloc.
Yeah. But and then it's funny because Hercule is Hercule, like if y'all know Hercule, he's like this world
Mr.
martial
Satan.
arts, in the manga anime.
Is that not his name on the show?
In the show, like in the English version,
I
don't think they ever.
Him Satan.
I think they only ever called him Hercule. But I remember in the games I would play, like, did you ever play Legacy of Goku on the Game Boy? In that game. They were like, it was like, go to Mr. Satan's house. And I was like, what?
Oh, so I guess that's like a translation thing. Because I grew up as like
a translation
as
thing.
Mr. Satan.
Yeah.
And then like, I didn't know about Hercule till like a lot later.
But he's just a dude. He's just a regular human dude who like thinks he's great at martial arts. Which,
for the record, he's the martial arts champion of the world.
To be fair, he is amongst regular human standards really good.
No, he's the martial arts champion of the earth.
Yes. But he's still not the strongest because we just talked about how Krillin technically is the strongest.
But he's a martial arts.
He is a martial arts expert, but he's still just like, they put him in the game though. And if you play him, like, one, he doesn't even make the characters flinch. Like he'll do like a whole combo and like the characters will just be standing there. And he technically does damage, but like when you're like, if you're in a regular fight, like it's Trunks versus Vegeta or something and you're doing damage, it's doing like in the hundreds of damage and stuff. If you get like a full combo off on Hercule, it's like maybe 100. He's just wailing on him and he doesn't do anything. And like his ki blast is him just throwing rocks. Like he literally just throws rocks. Now, he technically has one ability that can do a little bit of damage, but it's because in Dragon Ball Z, or after the events of Dragon Ball Z, he becomes friends with Boo.
Yeah, that's right. They become homies.
Yeah, they become homies. And so this one ability, he calls in Boo to like come help like a little bit. So that one does like a little bit of damage, but only because Boo is there.
In the manga, he also had a gun. He had like guns.
Yes.
Does he have it here?
I can't remember if he has the gun. I think he has there's one where he like puts a bomb in a present and gives it to them, and it still doesn't do much damage, but it's like, it's so funny how like they still include. And guess what? Like if you take him into ranked, he only costs 1 point. He only costs 1 point.
You could get him in Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, bro.
Yeah. You take Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, and you have enough for Hercule.
Oh my god.
It's so funny. It's so funny, but like it's cool how they included him still. Like they designed his character and his kit and everything, even though he doesn't do anything.
Oh my god.
It's so funny.
So one thing in the game was that you get to see, so Shenron we already mentioned, but you get to see Super Shenron.
That's right.
You can unlock characters with Super Shenron.
Yeah, so that is something that you can do in the game. Basically, like doing certain things,
doing the
custom battles. You can get Dragon Balls, and then if you get enough Dragon Balls, you get to like make a wish.
And it's not just regular Shenron; it was Super Shenron.
Well, because I think you can get different ones, right? I think it's like you can get regular.
I don't know.
Shenron,
I've only gotten Super Shenron.
I'm not sure. It might only be Super, but basically, when you get to make a wish, you get to wish for like. Either it gives you a bunch of the in-game currency,
or
unlock new characters, like
new power.
Yeah, just like various things like that.
Character for show.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
And this game, I honestly thought coming in that it would be plagued with like destructive microtransaction. It's not.
Yeah, no, it's really not. They have like some cosmetic stuff. I think
it's all
that you
cosmetic,
can buy,
though.
but yeah, there's really at least not yet. There's no.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I think they did put out one where I don't know these characters, but apparently they're from the Dragon Ball superhero movie or something.
Is it Jiren? No, Jiren's in the game.
I don't. Yeah, no. He's in the game, but he's not. They literally look like superhero. Like they have like capes and stuff. Yeah. But I don't know their names. I never saw the movie.
I mean, hell, even Gohan was a superhero at one point.
True. The Saiyaman.
Saiyaman, yeah.
And then he teams up with Pan? No, Pan is his daughter.
His daughter, yeah.
Yeah. Is it Videl?
Videl's his wife.
Videl's his wife. Okay, because I know she starts helping him.
That's why I said there was Chi-Chi, Bulma, Videl.
Come on, man.
To get the dragon points.
Come on, man.
To get the dragon points. I just want the DP, bro. The dragon points. Bonk.
Yeah, you need to get hit with that. Bonk.
But yeah, I mean, do you have anything else? Dude, the game is just fun.
The only other thing is like they did such a good job with the visuals, which is like, it's interesting. I wish I knew how to describe it better because, like, honestly, it's an anime game, right? Like, how much farther can we get in animating it? Because it all looks the same, but like, there's something about this game where it's like it's just a higher quality. Because like this game, when I was playing it, it made me also want to go back and replay Dragon Ball Xenoverse too, and looking at like just the graphic fidelity or whatever, like I'm like, God, it looks so good. Like the colors are so vibrant. The cell shading is so sharp. It's so good.
So you know what? I do think that compared to another current Dragon Ball game, so I think compared to DBF, so Dragon Ball Fighter Z, this is more like your Tekken or Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah.
I think that one still has a better. What do you call it? I think it still has a better
like style,
yeah, and design.
So Fighters does?
Yes, because I think that since it's just one dimension, it's like 2D. So like there's not really any angles you have to work with, and they force perspective on you. Whereas in Sparking Zero, dude, like it can go 360.
Yeah.
So they have to make it look good 360.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's hard to do.
And it looks fucking fantastic.
Yeah. And they do a good job of it. And I love whenever you do something big, they clearly like make it like it was in the show.
They
'Cause, like,
put a big deal on it. They put emphasis.
I always every time I would evolve Cooler into like Mega Cooler, I loved it every time because it does like the sound effects of like his muscles growing, and then like the mask goes like over his mouth. I was just like, fuck yeah, it's so cool. And then like even like I remember because like I got. Man, I think I even still have it. I have the Revenge of Cooler movie on VHS.
Damn.
At my parents' place somewhere.
For you guys that don't know what a VHS is, just Google it.
I don't have the energy, man.
I'm so old.
Yeah. But yeah, I have it on VHS, and I remember, like, I watched that movie a lot. Also, weirdly enough, that movie is what introduced me to Disturbed and
what song?
And Deftones. I don't even remember which song it was, but I remember, like, the soundtrack was really good, and like even on the back of the box, it was like featuring music from Disturbed and the Deftones. And I was like, at the time, I was like, that didn't mean anything to me. But looking back, I was like, oh my god, that was why that soundtrack slapped so hard.
Okay.
But like I remember I forgot who he was fighting, but I remember a clear image of like Cooler beating the shit out of one of the characters, and like there's a part where he like throws him on the ground and just like slams his foot down on the guy's stomach. And I'm like, there's an ability where you do that. It's like a big combo thing, and it ends with him like stomping, like flying down. I'm like, I remember that image so clearly in my head from the movie.
There's just things in this game that like really did hit like that. Like the first time I saw Goku do like a full real Kamehameha, and like the game zooms in on him, it zooms out so you could see the energy, and it's like, dude. Like, yeah. I think that animation-wise, it looks fantastic. I don't think it's better than Fighter Z, but when they start doing the little animations or the cutscenes, perhaps, right? That's what you can call those. Let's just call those cutscenes.
Yeah,
that's where they put all the effort in because
it's really good, and it feels good when you get it off,
bro. It's like getting the DP
with Vidal.
Yeah, with Vidal, Bulma, and Chi-Chi, and 18. Just getting the dragon points, and it's like it feels great.
We need to just put the bonk dog over here like this entire episode. Yeah, no, it's so good, and especially because like going back to how many characters are on this roster, they did such a good job on all of them. Now, granted, to be fair, I guess how many characters? 100 something characters.
180 something.
To be fair. Like
there's duplicates.
Goku is one character, but there's early Dragon Ball Z Goku. There's late Dragon Ball Z
Super
Goku.
Saiyan 1,
Super
2,
Saiyan 1,
3,
2,
4.
3, 4. Yeah, like there's a bunch of versions of Goku. Same thing with Vegeta, Trunks, Gohan. Yeah, all those people.
There's that kind of stuff, and you know it's unavoidable with a game.
Yeah.
Or with a series.
But it's still cool. It's still fucking cool as shit.
Trust us when we say it's fucking cool.
Because they all have different abilities and stuff, technically.
Let me tell you a gripe that I did have though.
Oh yeah. Let me know what all your gripes are.
Well, I don't really have much.
Oh really?
I have one. So when I'm traversing the shop,
okay,
is there a way that I could stop Bulma from talking?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, every time you move to one, it's just like, wow, cool. You're thinking about getting that?
Same voice line.
Thinking about getting that? Wow,
Same voice
cool.
line.
I'm just like, Bulma, I need to just like let me be. Do you mind?
I'm not giving you dragon points.
You know what? I don't want to buy anything right now. I'm just gonna keep. You've made me leave.
So
the
like
store.
that was one thing that I was wondering. It's like, fuck, dude. Is there a way I could just mute audio like that?
Yeah, I don't.
But there isn't, right?
No,
there isn't.
I mean, unless you go into settings and mute all audio. But
nah. So that's one, and the one that I have. So in the story, I understand they can't fucking voice them like properly, right? Because then you have stuff where they're talking and they're doing this.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really match.
And I will say,
I'm sure it's better in Japanese.
Yeah, probably. I will say also, like I mentioned, pretty much every single Dragon Ball Z game or just Dragon Ball game, it does the same thing of just taking you through all the sagas, right? This one was like, I think, I don't want to say lazy, but it was definitely the most like abridged, I guess, because like it skips around a lot, and a lot of it is done through just kind of like slideshow stuff, rather than cutscenes.
And it's like I understand that it's a lot,
And I know the reason why is it's like I said, every other game has done this. So I'm wondering if they were like, look, we've done this a million times. Let's just like chop it up a bit more so people can get, moving on it. But at the same time, you have kids out there who have never seen any of the Dragon Ball stuff. So like,
I think you should also think about those people.
You should, yeah, because you should let a lot of because a lot of the cool shit can happen in these cutscenes. Like, I mean, like the whole thing with Captain Ginyu and the swapping bodies with Goku stuff. That's like funny stuff and interesting, but they kind of like
that
they glaze over it big.
There was a challenge where you're playing as Ginyu against I forgot who, but a win condition is you need to swap bodies.
In this one, in Sparking Zero? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I don't know if was that on the Goku story? Because I don't remember.
No, it's not part of the Goku story. It's another one of those like custom things.
Okay. It's a custom thing. Okay, that's. Are you playing as
The
Ginyu
custom
or
challenge.
Goku?
Yeah, it's like a challenge that you need to play as Ginyu.
Okay.
And then in order to win, you need to swap bodies.
Oh, so I haven't actually played Ginyu. Is that one of his abilities is to swap bodies?
Yes.
That's funny. That's cool.
It's cool. And then, dude, like I did it against Frieza.
Yeah.
and like I fucking started playing as Frieza, and I'm like,
good.
damn, I got you. Bitch.
Nice. Yeah, and like there's some. I like how again to stay with like the characters. There are certain moves that like don't really make sense to do. Like Android 16 has like a self-destruct mode because like in the show he blows himself up. And like, if you catch someone in it, I think it just kills them, but it also like you die too. So it's like it's a scorched earth kind of thing. Same thing with Vegeta. Actually, if you play as specifically the Majin Vegeta, because in the show he like sacrifices himself to try and kill Buu. He has that move as Majin Vegeta specifically, and it doesn't kill you, but it leaves you with like 1 health left. So if you hit him one more time, then he's dead.
That's cool.
But if you get caught by it, you're dead. You're insta dead.
That's really cool. I think this game is very good. I think visually appealing wise, this is probably one of the best ones that we've ever covered.
They put a lot of work into it. They definitely put a lot of work and love into it, I think.
And you could tell it's like a passion, right? And with Toriyama, like Sensei, like passing, this game is the last thing that he had worked on.
Oh, this was officially it?
Yes. And it shows like, his love for the game and the people that he surrounded with this game definitely shows. Like it shows that they love this game. Yeah. And it's not like a competitive thing. I don't want you to go into this thinking, oh, I'm gonna play it competitive.
Yeah. Like it has a ranked mode, but I just don't take it.
Just enjoy it.
Seriously.
Just enjoy it. Like you get to do the shit that you've always wanted to do as a kid. And I think that this is how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now at the same time, even offline, the computer plays as if you're online. It will not let you win. So just a heads up, it's not going to be a walk in the park. Just get to rag on some
you're not
NPCs, but
you're going to get your shit rocked.
Get ready to like actually have to play the games. But
I have nothing else.
Yeah, I think that pretty much closes it up. Check it out. It is a full price game.
No, it's not. It's like $42 at G2A.
Okay, G2A. Yes. Totally above board.
Totally legal.
Totally legal.
Totally clean.
Yeah, if you're not wanting to get it off
it's a full price.
It's a full price game. But honestly, I would say it's worth it.
It's worth it.
If you're into arena fighters,
if you're into Dragon Ball,
yeah, I think it's definitely
it would have paid for itself after like a full day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
like I played the story mode like quite a bit, and like I've only done the Goku one. Yeah. And it's like it's taken a lot of time, and like it's still going. So like I can only like there's like 6 or 7 other characters at least I think that you can play as that I haven't even touched yet. So as far as just the story, if you don't want to go online. And as you said, the custom battles are super cool.
That's where the money's at.
Yeah,
bro.
get to make your own, but then also just like go into like this huge library of what other people have made.
If Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku is 14 points, Tom Brady is probably 15.
All right.
I think
that's it. Go check it out if you want to. And go say hi to your mom.
Yeah, wish her well,
And that's all.
See you guys on the next episode.
Check you later.
Bye.